Welcome to Casa de Confidence, a podcast for you. You'll hear some incredible women
and some awesome, cool dudes
going confidently in the direction of their dreams and living in the purpose of their heart.
You're our host,
Julie DeLucca-Collins, and you are our sidekick. Hashtag handsome hot husband.
That again.
And the producer of the show.
That I am.
I am an author, speaker, coach, dreamer, and most of all,
we help people go in the direction of their dreams
and support them on their purpose. So pull up a chair,
grab a drink,
and make yourself at home because our casa
is your casa. Welcome to week 193 of Casa de Confidence.
Don't be ridiculous. Where'd you get that number from?
I made it up.
Yeah. Don't pull stuff out of your butt.
How to get there in the first place? Oh my gosh! You know what? We've gone south already.
Oh well. First of all, why would you make up a number? Why would you make up a number? I
don't know. I bet you I'm not that far off though.
It's going to be 4 years.
It's going to be 4 years.
4 times.
Oh,
52.
It's 200 and something.
Yeah.
Weeks.
How about that?
That wasn't bad.
We have 230 episodes.
230. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Here you go.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you for putting it all into perspective for me, Julie.
You're welcome.
Julie, I am truly amazed by your math skills.
Because you know what? Business is not magical. It's mathematical.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm excited. Are you excited?
For what?
We're going to Podfest.
We are going to Podfest.
Yes, we are.
And we were awarded tickets from Buzzsprout.
Yeah, Buzzsprout was kind enough to get us tickets. So that's awesome.
Yay, podcasters.
So
unite.
Thank you, Buzzsprout.
So excited. Yes. So patience and persistence.
Mm-hmm.
And we have certainly had patience and persistence when it comes to our business and our podcasting.
That's true. You know, it doesn't happen overnight, but it's happening.
Well, it's consistent action at work.
I know. I've heard that somewhere before. Someone says that, I think, it's you. Consistent action gets you traction.
Yes, I know. Hey, what do you think is the most important thing that you can do in order to heal?
In order to heal?
Yeah.
Allow yourself to heal, first of all. I mean, if you break a leg, stop walking on it. Right?
Sure.
I mean, that's step number 1, in my opinion. I mean, stop walking on it. Get it off. And then get help.
Get help how?
Go to a doctor. Get the leg fixed. You get help by going to whatever is broken or whatever is fixing. You go find an expert who can help you heal. I mean, that's right. I don't know the answer that you were looking for.
I am just
putting it out there. That's the answer I'm giving.
I am just putting it out there. Another thing that you can do is
this is
positive.
The answer she was looking for.
Oh my God. Positive thinking, relaxation, a healthy diet, regular exercise, good sleep, and social support.
Yes, all those things will help.
Mm-hmm. And you know where I got that?
Where'd you get that?
So the Better Health, the Better Health website from the government.
From the government?
It says GOV. So
GOV?
Yeah.
We are the government and we're here to help.
But
this is
the other thing that eating well, it's another thing that really does help you heal.
It's true.
And I know that when I am eating healthy, I definitely will, definitely feel better especially if I'm feeling down and about.
If you treat food like medicine, it's going to heal you.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, by the way, one of the things that we started, and I don't know if people are paying attention to it, but the little shot of confidence has been dropping.
Yes, it has.
And I am excited to say that we are in 2 weeks of
How many episodes have you actually put out?
I've dropped 2.
2 little shots.
2 little shots. That's right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway.
And she's dropping these shots herself. She's just recording, throwing them out there. She's not having her editor, i.e. me, do anything to them.
Yeah. Dan has no involvement. Raw. It's raw, Julie, and whatnot. So
luckily I have some passive systems in place here that, she sounds good.
Yeah. Well,
you not only sound good, you sound great.
I sound great.
You know what sounds great about you?
What?
It's the message. It's what you talk about. And you're witty. And
got it.
Sexy.
Oh, look at you.
Well, I mean,
that's
just me. That's just me. Just me saying that.
We're going south. Yesterday, one of the other things, that I believe really, truly help you heal and be in the best possible frame of mind is having healthy relationships in your life as well.
Oh, that's good.
And
good
I have to say that I am incredibly grateful for the loving, healthy relationships that I have with so many incredible friends that are part of our life. Friday night, we went to Amanda Blakesley, friend of the show, client of Confident You. She invited us for dinner. Amanda made pizza from scratch.
Yeah, really good pizza too.
Yeah. Which one did you like? So we had several different. And by the way, Dan and I decided that we are going to attempt to do some, what do you call it? What are we doing?
I have no idea.
And hold on. What are we doing? We're doing plant-based eating. Oh my gosh. Jeez, Louise. What's wrong with my brain?
I didn't have a topic. Plant-based eating. Okay. It just hasn't begun yet.
No. Don't be ridiculous.
Really?
We ordered food.
What'd you have for breakfast? What'd you have for breakfast?
Dan, can you just let me me finish talking?
What did you have for breakfast?
I ordered from Hungry Root, not an ad, but they should be sponsoring the show. Yes, I ordered from Hungry Root because I watched You Are What You Eat, the documentary on Netflix about the twins. And if you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it.
Right.
But basically a study was made in which 2 sets of twins, identical twins, they were put in 2 different types of diets. And the ones that had a plant-based lifestyle eating actually had incredible numbers and results in their health. And it's not just weight. It's just overall the composition of your body, your cells, cognitive skills. And by the way, I grew up in meat. So it's sort of daunting. And when Dan went plant-based a few years ago, I said, well, good luck to you. Because I'm like, I was not going to be in for that.
She was not along for that ride.
No. So, but I decided that I'm going to try. So then I went ahead and I ordered food from Hungry Root. And I was impressed.
Yeah, some of the food was great. So yeah, we're eating, probably 80%.
Yes. I mean, we went to we had spinach artichoke. We had a stir fry that we did. We did a mushroom pasta that was delicious. So we've been having. Oh, and you enjoy the banana thing, overnight oats. Yeah, I don't like that so. That's not my cup of tea.
I don't know why. It's like pudding.
Ugh.
It's like bread. It's like bread pudding, but it's oats, bananas, and maple.
Yeah,
it was really good.
So anyway,
Hey, Julie, what are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking coffee.
Oh yeah.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a bubbly, sparkling water that you stole from Amanda.
Yep.
Mango. I'm surprised you took mango.
I just grabbed whatever was there.
I thought you didn't like mango.
Really? I love mango.
You love mango. Oh, papaya you don't.
Yes, thank you.
That's the one. I get them mixed up.
You always get that wrong. Like, I hate papaya. Wait.
Papaya is good because papaya actually will settle your stomach.
Okay, let's back up. I don't like ripe papaya.
Oh.
But give me a papaya salad, like a Thai papaya salad. Ooh, I'm in. I'm in for that.
Cool.
So, yeah. Anyway, so now today we went to Trader Joe's and I went shopping for plant-based food. And I would say 99.9 of everything I bought, except for the eggs, are plant-based.
That's true.
So very excited for that. I can't wait.
Technically, everything's plant-based.
Yeah, that's true.
We just cut out the middleman by eating plants.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, a lot of people like, you need your protein. Well, there's protein in plants.
You know what I really love, though? I really love that Beyond Burger. That was pretty good.
That was really good. You prepared it well.
I was
impressed.
I put it in the pan. That was so hard.
But you cooked it properly. It was good. Very good.
Yeah, because they said 7 minutes each side. Mm-hmm. So I was timing that. I didn't want to get it wrong.
That's the thing we got to do, though. We got to make sure we don't end up in that trap of eating like a lot of processed foods, even though it's plant-based.
Right.
And there's some out there that it's like, oh, I don't know. This is...
Well, I'm incredibly excited
I did
for
that
this adventure.
when I was doing it for a year. It's kind of the trap I fell into.
Yeah, you were eating a lot of like that kind of stuff, and then you were also you became a hummusarian.
Yes, well, that's not so bad. I love hummus. So
but if that's like what you're eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, no wonder you gave up.
Well, I still enjoy the hummus, but yeah, you need to add different. You need to get nutrients from other places. You don't have all your vitamins and nutrients in hummus. You gotta have a variety of things. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
absolutely. So anyway,
I'm not an expert.
I thought you were an expert at some things.
Oh my gosh,
what are you an expert at, Dan?
What am I an expert at?
Mm-hmm.
I'm. You know what? What's that saying? I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. Except I am a master of a couple things at my work. Actually, my actual title at work is master engineering technician. So I guess I am a master.
You are a master, DeLucca-Collins.
So, but
how are your resolutions going for this year?
I didn't make any, did I?
What is your word of the year,
Daniel?
I'm
not a big resolutions person.
What is your word of the year?
You know, Daniel? I had a word of the year. Why?
Because I want to see how your intentional living is going.
Actually, my word of the year is why. And actually, in a meeting at work the other day, I actually pressed somebody.
Really?
To see if they got the true root cause by asking their whys.
Wow.
So
amazing.
So I guess I'm using my word of the year, even at work.
I just think, first of all, you're misusing the concept of the word of the year, but who am I to judge?
How am I misusing it?
Because you're supposed to pick a word that it's supposed to drive you to embody that word. And you can't embody why. Like walking around
Absolutely.
Like, why?
Absolutely. You can embody
like a
why.
Toddler.
What is a toddler? Of all things,
oh my God, I almost said obnoxious.
Obnoxious?
Oh my God.
And
Lord,
it's a word.
Have mercy.
It's a word that someone might choose is curious or curiosity, striving for knowledge.
Okay.
And as a person with a technical mind, also an artistic mind, I go both ways.
Narcissistic mind?
I'm not narcissistic at all.
I thought. Oh, you said artistic. Oh,
artistic and technical. So there's two sides of that coin with me. And you called me narcissistic.
Well, because I thought that's what you said.
Oh, you heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
That's why I said enunciate.
You probably,
Wow.
So yeah, we have that why. Actually, that's an encouragement for me to be more curious. I mean, that's why I picked a word that reminds me what I need to be doing. And the word doesn't have to be your goal, your end. It can be your tool for getting there. And if I concentrate on the tool, the results will show themselves.
Like what kind of results are you looking for in your life?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know where you're going.
First of all, I want to be healthier.
Okay. Well, if that's a result.
I don't want to need a nap every day just to get by.
Perfect. So, but here's what I'm going to say. If you want to be healthy every day, right? Asking, well, why? It's not going to get you to being healthy. But if you say like vibrant, it might.
Oh, I get it. So you want me to pick a word that, where I want to be, what I want to do.
Correct.
And
What do you want to embody?
Okay, so I'm choosing Y as my tool.
Sure. Okay, that's perfect. That's a tool.
Okay. My word, I think, will be, let me think of something. Energy.
Oh, okay.
Energy. And it's not the whole word. It's N, the letters N, R, and G.
N, R, and G.
Say those 3 letters together.
Injury.
Just say the 3 letters.
N-G-R.
How do you say N?
N.
How do you say R?
R.
How do you say G?
G.
Now say that.
N-R-G.
Energy. Get it? It's hurting your brain.
It's hurting my brain.
So my word of the year is now energy, because I was told I had to pick a different word.
Okay, so let's go back to this. So now that your word of the year is energy, when you feel like you need a nap, you got to say, hey, is taking a nap helping me show up as an energy person?
And my answer is going to be yes, because currently right now, those naps are necessary, because I do have a health issue and I'm trying to address that.
And
so, yes.
By the way, I'm very proud of you addressing that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I talk about what you did?
Okay. Hold on. First of all, we do have a guest today. She's coming up. Just want to let you guys know.
But I'm getting there. But first
we've
of all,
got like 4 minutes before she shows up.
Okay. Well, you had to do you had to do number 1 in a bucket and send it to the lab.
Oh yeah, I did have to pee in a bucket. I had to do number 1. God. I had to urinate in a jug for 24 hours.
Let me tell you.
And then I had to deliver it, and I had to keep it refrigerated. So to Julie's chagrin, there was pee in the fridge.
Really? Why would you have to put that out in the universe? That we had pee in our fridge?
There's certain things in life that you have to do.
Anyhow.
And I did. And I made sure that I never dribbled on the outside of the jug. Not once did I.
Well, I went and I cleaned that shelf, just so you know.
Oh, good job. I'm glad you did.
Yeah. Well, hello.
There was never pee on the outside of that jug. Oh, I did a good job. And that means I had to pee in a jug at work, too.
Dan was carrying a jug.
But anyway, I wasn't carrying. I was carrying a bag with a jug in it. That way, you gotta have a modicum of what is that? Civility at work.
Decorum.
Decorum. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite words.
I like civility.
I like decorum. Okay, so now that you have your word, I have my word. Then the biggest.
What's your word again?
Freedom.
Freedom. Okay.
Freedom.
All right.
So anyhow, the other thing that I am doing that I've been really good at, except yesterday and today, I don't know, the weekends just kind of mess me up, but I've been journaling every morning again in a very intense manner. And these are the things that I'm covering in my journal. I'm answering the questions. What are my wins? And it could be one win. And then I'm listing you, you're my family, my person. And I'm listing like how I'm showing up or how I want to show up in my interactions with you. And then I'm listing my gratitude.
Okay.
Anything that's on my mind, right? Where am I falling short?
Okay.
What's on the horizon?
Ooh.
And what am I going to do tomorrow to get closer to my vision?
Got it.
So these are the things that I want to continue to connect on, because I think that in the horizon, a lot of people, right? So for instance, for me, what's in the horizon? In the horizon is I am going to increase the impact we have by servicing hundreds of women and individuals this year. And if that's in the horizon, I am reminding myself that today I am servicing hundreds of women in my life and in my business today. So I'm writing that. It is putting me and it's connecting me to my future vision. And then it helps me to identify the actions that I need to take to make that a reality.
Amazing.
Anyhow, Jill Schultz is our guest for today. And I have to tell you, she really inspired me, because one of the biggest things that and this is not the first time, by the way, that we have had someone who has undergone some trauma. But one of the things that I really liked about Jill is that her story of overcoming is something that she has really delved into the process of healing for her. And again, the process of healing is not a linear journey. And there's a lot of series of steps that you have to take to get to the place where you're self-accepting, where you love yourself. And it's a testament to the power of the self-care that she is seeking to continue to help others implement in their lives. So what I would love is, if you're listening, my friend, is a couple different things. Number one is, I want you to think that for you, whatever journey you're on, if it's a healing journey, it has to be something that you embrace as a self-courageous act. And then if you're listening to this, please subscribe, because that means the world to me. And when you subscribe, the message of healing can reach others.
All right. So on to our interview with Julie and Jill Schultz.
Welcome back to another episode of Casa de Confidence. Today, I have Jill E. Schultz with me, and she's coming to us live from San Diego, which is one of my favorite places in the world. If you've never, been to San Diego, my friends, you got to make it there. And more importantly, you need to make sure that you connect with Jill. I am excited to be able to deep dive into a little bit of her story. And, like she says, unashamed, unleash your true self. She's going to talk a little bit about this. So, Jill, tell us a little bit about your life. You said something to me earlier that you were a nanny. What was the path between being a nanny and then all of a sudden doing what you're doing? Give us a little glimpse into that journey.
Well, it's funny because I was telling you that I don't have children, and I think it's because I was a nanny that cured me from wanting to have children. But yeah, I was right in your neck of the woods. I lived with a family in Darien for a couple months, and we decided we did not like each other. And then I moved to a family in Rowayton, so close to you in Connecticut. But yep. My path has been, California was always my end game. And so I finally got down to San Diego when I turned 30. I've been here 25 years. I can't believe it's been 25 years. And
wow. Times fly when you're having fun, Jill.
Yes. And blessed. Like, I still wake up every day and go, I get to live here. Like, it's such a beautiful place. So yes, come visit. I have plenty of room. But yeah. My story really started when I was around 3 or 4 years old. And I don't know if you want me to dive right in.
Yeah, you can dive right in. I love just the fact that you're being honest and open. I think that sometimes, we skirt about challenging topics, but I'd love for you to be able to just share a little bit more about you.
Thank you. Well, I was molested when I was 3 or 4 years old. And, you may or may not have sexual trauma in your history, but one thing that I find holds people back is everybody has a secret. Everybody has a secret that they have that's stopping them from being their fantastic, fabulous self. And so I encourage people to look at their secret, whether it's cheating on a spouse, or maybe you stole a lollipop when you were 5 years old that you're still not over, or, whatever that may be. If you aren't sharing that and talking about it and getting it out, because shame cannot live in the light. And for 41 years, I lived with this dark cloud, and I literally saw it as a dark cloud over my head that followed me everywhere I went.
Wow.
And at, 41 years later, God and I decided, mostly him telling me, and I don't know if you believe in God or not.
I do.
Fine. Okay. He decided that I get to share my story. And for those of you who are listening right now, this is not a PG story. It is hard. And so, but I get to see it as a gift now, because now I get to share. And And my hope is to help people know that if you have a similar story to mine, you're not alone. Because I thought I was the only little girl who ever acted out the way that I acted out. So you're not alone. You get to forgive yourself. You get to love yourself. So, being molested at a young age, I don't remember who did it. I don't know who did it. But what happened afterwards is the conversation that people aren't having. And I was the little girl who innocently and curiously acted out sexually with other children because of what somebody taught me to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm here to say that, once again, you're not alone if this is your story. And I just need to take a quick pause here, if you don't mind, because this is a topic that people don't talk about. If this is your story and this is the first time that you're like, I don't know, do you swear on here or not?
You can. Okay. I like Jesus. I love him. But I do have a little potty mouth. So
I do too. And I love me some Jesus too, but I swear, and it's a hard topic. So, if this is the first time that you're hearing somebody else say that they have your story, I want to take a pause and I want to honor you. And I want you to know that I see you. I feel you and I see you. And this gets to be a pivotal point in your life where you get to know that talking about it will set you free.
I'm so glad you're saying that, because I think that there's so many taboo subjects in this world, and so many times that we don't talk about things because there is so much shame attached to the secrets, to the inner things that have happened, that sometimes we feel so alone. We think we are the only ones. And I'm so glad that you are giving people the time to honor them, to honor themselves for having the story. And really, the past is not something that we need to be sitting here begrudging, but we should be knowing that it created a gift for us today, that there's something that we can do about it.
Yeah. And one thing that I found to be so beautiful, like I've done therapy, I've done landmark education. I recently have done a program called Hardcore Leadership and Hardcore PhD. And this is really where you really get to look in the mirror and see the things inside you that you're trying to heal. And I remember going to therapy. I'd be walking into the office with the therapist and my stomach would just be in knots, me knowing that I had to share the story to get it out of me, and thinking, what are they going to think of me? Are they going to kick me out of their office? Are they going to think I'm a monster, a pedophile? Because at 12 years old, those were the thoughts that I had. I thought I was a monster and a pedophile. And I need you to know that every single time I have shared my story, the level of kindness and compassion and love that has been on the other side of me sharing that has blown me away. And so I need for, if this is you, if this is your story, I need you to find somebody to talk to. You need to get it out. And I've written a book. It's called Liberated, and it'll be out at the end of September. And as I was writing the book, I was talking to my editor and I'm like, do I even need to write this story anymore? Because I've said it so many times, it's lost all its power over me. So please find somebody to talk to. There's lots of different resources like RAIN, or there's a incest survivors organization. So just please talk about it.
Thank you again for sharing the story. And we are going to have some of these resources available for the listeners, because it is a sensitive topic. But more importantly, I love that you said the story doesn't have power over you, even though you had an incredible amount of guilt and shame and all of these different things that you carried. And I picture 12-year-old you walking into that office with so many luggage and baggage and things that weigh you down. But now you are helping to liberate others and redefining, helping other people redefine what this looks like. What was the first step in you healing as a 12-year-old?
Yeah. So I didn't start therapy until I was 33. And so from that time, I'm 12 to 30. Well, seriously, the time from 12 to 52, cloud of shame, but it was a long process for me. And so that's another reason why I really want to share my story, because I want to collapse time for people. But I wasn't connecting with men. And I like into a room and a man would look at me and I'd immediately look down. Like I did not want a man to see me. I thought if a man knew what I had done, how could he love me? And now I'm like, how could he not love me knowing what I've been through, you know, like, right. And I'm dating and I'm looking for my person right now. Wink, wink. But
sounds good.
Therapy was the first step in, looking at all of this. And I started that when I was around 33 years old.
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things that I encourage individuals, if you have been dealing with, you know, trauma with a big T, little t, it's trauma nonetheless, but speak to somebody, because there's power in liberating ourselves, because sometimes people don't realize that they're not alone. And that's the one thing that, and really some of these secrets really thrive in darkness, really thrive in secrecy. Whereas when you start to really diffuse the conversation, it can help you see that you're not broken. And that's what I think a lot of people think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Jill, for you, you know, this has been a journey. And again, you wrote a book. I'd love to deep dive into the process of writing a book, because you alluded that, you know, hey, I don't want to share the story again because I've talked about it. Do I have to? So many people maybe can identify with the process that you went through in writing a book. Tell me a little bit more about that. What was that like? And how did it come about that you decided to write your book and now you're getting it out into the world?
Yeah. So last summer, when I was in this PhD program, I was like, why? I remember driving around last April going, what the fuck am I doing here? Like I have several businesses. I love what I do, but I felt like I've had no purpose, and I've been praying for my purpose for a long time. And then God slapped me upside the head and said, you get to share this story. This is your purpose in life. And so as soon as I finally submitted to that, and my word for this last year has been surrender. But when I finally submitted to that, I started sharing my story with friends. Well, first of all, the only thing that I wanted to do was get on stages and just shout my message from the rooftop. I'm like, I want to set people free. And a really good friend of mine is a speaker. And I told him, I want to get on stages. He goes, if you want to get on stages, you got to write a book. And I'm like, I don't want to write a book.
Yeah.
But I started sharing my story. And as I shared my story, it was surprising the number of people that said, that's my story too. So in my book, I have about 15 different chapters.
Okay.
And 13 of those are other people's stories.
Amazing.
So it was really beautiful how everything there's been miracle after miracle after miracle as this whole thing has unfolded. And like I said, my word for the year has been surrender, because I still had to talk to my family. I still had lots of things that I needed to clean up in order for this book to really be something that I felt comfortable doing. And so every time an obstacle comes up, I'm like, this is your mess. You figure it out. And the whole pathway has just been paved smoothly. It keeps opening up and keeps opening up and keeps opening up. So that's been my process for the book, is just, surrender.
Such a good word.
It's such a hard word.
It's a hard word too, but it's a good word. Because by the way, and I know that you talk about this as a speaker, how we grow when we're out of our comfort zone. And sometimes we need to surrender that we're going to be in that messy middle, or that we're going to be in that spot. And I know that it took a lot of courage and bravery. I know the answer to this because, well, I think I know where I get my strength from, and I would imagine for you is the same. But as you were going to have some challenging what people would call difficult conversation, but courageous conversations with your family, where did you find the courage and bravery to bring up difficult topics with them as you were getting ready to write the book?
Yeah, my family and I are really close. And especially my parents, I knew that it would be a hard conversation to have because, when your child is abused, sorry, I have an itch. When
No,
your
you're
child
good.
when your child is abused, you automatically blame yourself, and it's like, how could this have happened? We watched you all the time, but sadly, it's mostly a family member a friend or family member that's doing the abusing. So you can't watch your kids all the time. But I knew that especially my dad would be 100% behind me doing this because he knew that it was going to help so many people. And he knew that this is what God was calling me to do. And my mom too, it was harder on my mom. I think she blamed herself, significantly, so.
Yeah. I think that there's such an important lesson here that it's not about blame, because that's what a lot of people tend to do in circumstances like that. They start to blame. And by the way, I know individuals who have gone through the process of sexual abuse and molestation. And when they share with their families, they're not received in the same way. What's your advice for someone listening that maybe did have the opportunity and found the courage to have these brave conversations and yet was not received with the support? What are some of the advice that you have for them?
Oh God, find somebody else, find a support group. And I find that, for this type of healing, it can happen more quickly when it's in a group setting, because you're seeing people that have gone through similar things, especially, when it's something that's this shameful and you think you're the only person. You can find a community that actually there's many people that are there. I think the healing happens more quickly. And I don't know if you have this information, but I do have a Facebook group where people collectively can come and be part of. It's called Living Unshamed. So, if I can be, right, isn't that good? If I can be a support for you, please come. But any of the other resources that you have, and this is a hard question for me to ask because I come up against anybody that it has not been received in a loving, supportive way. That's a good question for me to ponder, though, because I really want to be able to have that an answer available for people if that's their situation, because I realize not everybody's situation is like mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see yourself as someone who in your life, you have used the power of really intentionality, manifesting better things to come your way? And how do people kind of leverage that into the world, into what they're doing?
I love manifesting. Like, it is my favorite thing to do. And I think when you can get your secret out and it's no longer something that's holding you back, like I told you, I just see this black cloud. I look for that cloud and it's gone. And now I have this blank canvas where I get to create anything and everything that I want in my life, because my true belief, and I don't know if you know who Amanda Francis is.
I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar. So share with the listeners who this is.
Yeah, she wrote a book called Rich as Fuck. She's a manifesting queen.
Okay.
And I listened to a podcast that she had a long time ago, and she said, every desire on your heart was given to you by God, and it's yours to have. Like, let's think. I have a vision board next to me here, and I've got a lot on it. I have my house in Tahoe. I have my private jet. I have my yacht. I have all the things.
Amazing.
And I believe I can have those things. I don't have a fishing boat on there because I don't want a fishing boat.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that getting into a space of manifesting and meditation, it's my favorite morning practice. And it really is where I feel closest to God. I get to be in this childlike, playful, daydreaming energy, and I get to co-create my life with God. And I'm actually manifesting things very quickly right now. And I also think that comes from the surrender too, because when you can get in a space of surrender, I think it opens you up for a massive space of receiving.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you have this morning practice. I know that it's been life-changing for me. Many people don't have the time, and at times feel like, oh, well, I don't have time for that. And I have to get the kids to work. And, you and I are childless. So we people will look at us and like, well, you have all the time in the world.
You don't get it.
Yeah. What can individuals who maybe are pressed for time or have other commitments or individuals that they support, what are other ways in which maybe individuals can find the way to practice that manifestation, that really being able to create that vision of themselves that can help them as they go through their life?
Yeah, well, you can do that at any time of the day. It doesn't have to be in the morning. You can do it driving in the car. You can do it standing in line at the grocery store. The two important things that I've learned is saying it, like, what do you want? And then feeling it, that it's happened. Asking yourself, what would it feel like if I had that? And then really stepping into that feeling, because that is what brings it to you, that feeling of knowing that it's already here. And gratitude. Be in gratitude all day. Always be thanking God, source, universe, whatever you believe in, whatever you call it. Always be thanking, like, thank you, God. I am so excited that I'm sitting on my private yacht right now in the south of France. Like, thank you, God, that I'm helping people, change lives. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
Tell me a story of someone that you worked with that through some of the work that you did together, their life changed. And how did they go from where they were to the place that it was transformational for them?
Thank you. So I have a couple of stories, and these are people who have contributed to my book. Scott, in my book, really only shared his story 6 years ago with a therapist. And some of the things that he shares in my book, he hadn't even shared with his therapist. And so I've sent the book off to editing, and then I have each contributor read their chapter because I wanted them to be okay with everything that was said. And he said that reading his chapter, because I hired a ghostwriter to write the book for me because I'm not a writer. I knew I would never get done. Yeah. So having the words be not his, but in somebody else's voice allowed him to have this level of compassion for this little boy that was him, that he never had afforded himself before because he hadn't seen himself in that way. So it was just another level of healing for him, and another level of acceptance, and another level of gratitude for the healing. So this book has been a healing opportunity for all the contributors, as well as for me, and as well as I hope for the reader.
I think that, healing is always a process. There's many times in which we're wounded humans, where that's part of the human experience. And we think that maybe, oh, this time I'm over it. But the pain of loss, the pain of whatever, right? Insert your pain, doesn't change. It just evolves. It hurts, or you become aware of that in a different way. I'm so, touched to hear that the opportunity to heal is part of the process for the individuals who were part of your book. How did you choose the people that were going to participate? How did you narrow it down? My book is very similar. I don't talk about I talk about the stories of individuals who have inspired me to create the right habits, to be more confident, and that framework. Individuals did not write the chapters, I did, but I really sat down and made a list of what was impactful for me. Who are the people that really created that impact for me? I wonder for you, what was the process of elimination, or how did you say, hey, let's get these stories in this book? Because every stories matter. So I'd love to hear your process.
Yeah, it makes me giggle a little bit because I didn't choose.
Okay.
I didn't choose.
I love that.
They found me. God handpicked each person and delivered them to me in a special way. And my friend PJ, who is the speaker who told me I needed to write a book, a few of them came from him, and because he's a coach, and so he talks to people and knows a lot of people. And then the other people came about because I was sharing my story with them. As soon as I decided to write the book, I wanted to immediately tell all of my friends what was going on, because I didn't want them to see a book here and be like, what's going on here? So I vulnerably shared my story with about 40 people. And out of that, that's where these other people came from. And I told you I've done Heartcore Leadership, and I've done the PhD program. Shanda Sumter is the Heartcore organization. And in that community, there were a lot of people who were Me Too's. So they are people that are in the book as well.
How do people support individuals? So perhaps maybe this is not their story, Jill, and they have someone that they're close to, whether it be a friend, a partner, a spouse, and they have that story. They have the shame that they're living with every day, and they seem to be in the spiral, because a lot of individuals tend to be caught up in the spiral. They kind of go through and but it comes back. It's something that the wound is very deep and has not even began to heal. How does someone who is a spouse or the partner or someone significant in life help someone through this?
Yeah. So you really need to ask them if they want help, because if they don't want help, it's not going to matter anyway. Right. And finding somebody that they can talk to, that they feel comfortable with sharing with, is going to be the number one thing to do. And, but yeah, I'd say the number one thing is making sure that they want help, because if they don't, then you're just going to be spinning your wheels. So one of the chapters in my book, my old therapist actually in the book, and he talks about that too. He talks about, just making sure that this person wants help, and not enabling them, like not setting the appointment for them unless they specifically say to you, I really want to set this appointment. I haven't been able to do it. Can you do that for me? But making sure that you're not doing all of the work for them.
Yeah. Healing is personal. And I think that there's a different timeline. We can share our stories, because I think that it helps to normalize that we're not alone in the healing process. But I do believe that healing is very personal, and that we all have to kind of navigate the waters of healing on our own. And on our own timeline as well. I think that that's one of the things that people sometimes neglect about the healing process. But you're right. People have to take ownership. They have to be ready. We can't push someone into healing. We need to give them the opportunity to choose and to take that brave first step. So you're manifesting a lot of really, really cool stuff. This may be a controversial question, because, by the way, I have a vision board, and it's got some really kick-ass, big, awesome stuff too. I watched Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett, who is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's one of the, in England, they don't have Shark Tank. They have the Dragon's Den, and he's one of the dragons. Self-made millionaire. Came from nothing, and at 25 became a multimillionaire. One of the things that he had, I can't remember. He was a C-level executive for Google for many years. And I know I've talked about him on the podcast, and it's escaping me the name right now, but they were talking about happiness. So here are two big millionaires who are talking about happiness, and they're talking about how, the research shows that at $75,000, when we can pay our bills comfortably, that's the threshold for happiness. But yet, when we move on past that, if you ask someone that makes $100,000 and they say, "What do you want more?" They'll say, "I want 200,000." If you're talking to a millionaire, they'll say, "I want 2 million." If you're talking to someone who, it's close to billions, but not there yet, we'll say, "I want $1 billion." So there's always that human nature of wanting more. What defines happiness for you?
It's not money. Money doesn't define happiness.
Yeah.
But money is right up there with oxygen. It sure helps,
It sure helps. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I say that all the time. Money doesn't bring happiness, but it does help. It does help us stay in our purpose.
Yeah. And I don't want I think it's really important that we stop having the stigma around it's bad to make a lot of money, because
Agreed.
the more money I make, the more people I get to help. And
so glad you said that.
Massive financial goals for myself, but it's not about the money for me. It's about the people that I get to help along the way. Like once I finally got slapped across the face with my purpose, from God.
Yes.
It's like, okay, this is why I'm here. And this is what I talked about, last April, I was driving around and I didn't have a suicidal thought. I just thought, why the fuck am I here? Like, I feel like I'm not contributing to anything. I feel like I'm not, really making a difference in anybody's life. Like I have a couple other businesses. I do event planning and I do wine. I mean, those make people happy, but food and wine makes people happy. But I wasn't to the core of my being. I was just like, why am I here? But now, like stepping into your purpose, that's what's going to make you happy. And I know there's a lot of people out there with a lot of money that are very, very unhappy. So really,
I'm so glad you said that. I totally agree with you that, that thing, right? When we find our purpose and for me, the more money I have, the more that I can make choices that help. My mom was sick at the beginning of the year. The fact that I could say, hey, I can be there for her. I can be at the hospital with her and not worry. And I think that that's the people that, we need to stop villainizing money and having money, because our goal, I love to serve. When I have more money, I can contribute more to other organizations that are doing the work that I'm passionate about. So that is so great.
Yeah. And surround yourself with people who have those thoughts. Like, do you do coaching? Do you coach?
I do.
Okay.
I coach. Yeah.
Get some coaching with this wonderful lady, because you have that mentality right now, surround yourself with people who think like that. All of the people in my coaching programs, we all believe, we truly believe to the core of our souls that money's not bad, that making more money, we get to help more people. So I'm surrounded by that all the time. If you're not, find somebody that can support you in that, because money's awesome.
Oh, 100%. And I think that surrounding yourself, and I think that this is a key lesson, and we talk about this on the show a lot. Surround yourself. Who are your people? Who are the people that make you better? I actually made a post about this Saturday night, because I was sitting outside looking at the birds and seeing my dogs play in the yard. I was having a nice glass of wine. And I just thought, I'm incredibly grateful, because I moved to Connecticut from New York City, and I have some incredible friends, some wonderful women that have poured into me. And when I look at them, I think, wow, these women are rock stars. And how am I in their universe? And I am just incredibly grateful. And I think that this is really the atmosphere that creates a better world for everyone, is if we find the people that we want to be like, and the people that make us better, inspire us, is super important.
Yeah. I remember a very pivotal point in my life. I was at Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within. And I was sitting there and I had this light bulb moment of, you need to get into communities that people are big thinkers. And I joined an organization called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. It's a huge international organization. And I really started up leveling. Find people that inspire you and sit down with them and ask them, what is their secret? What did they do to get here? Because the saying is, you're like the five people that you hang around with.
Absolutely. Jim Rohn said that all the time. And I firmly believe that. I do not. And by the way, I want to be not the smartest person in the room, because I'm in that wrong room, like you talk about. I love to just sometimes have these conversations and realize, like, wait a minute, this person is teaching me something really important. And I think that's the one thing that we hope that we can continue to do. You talked about wine, Jill. Tell me about your favorite wine. And for someone who, because I know there's a lot of people out there who, maybe they're not a red drinker, they're not a white drinker, but how do you explore and have an open mind and really not become a wine snob, but a wine connoisseur?
Yes. You asked me what's my favorite, and I say this. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
It's better to ask me
we
what I
belong to the
don't
same
like.
wine club, I see.
It's better to ask me what I don't like, because
Okay.
wine is magic. Wine is art. I mean, I was always ABC, anything but Chardonnay, until I had like a buttery oaky Chardonnay, until I had it paired with a magnificent crab cake. And then that's all I wanted to eat the rest of the night. So for me, it's really about the pairing. If I had to pick one varietal, I would say Red Zen is my probably absolute favorite.
Ooh, I love that. Amazing. Yeah. Actually, I was looking at my memories today. You know how your phone shows your memories. This weekend. It's going to be 5 years. Who knows? I can't believe it. 5 years ago, I was in the Indian River Valley region for wine in upstate in Washington State. It was so wonderful. We had a wonderful time. And even last night, not Sunday, my girlfriend and I took her mom and her mother-in-law. We went out to a winery and just, Connecticut has humble wineries, but some of them are delightful and really great and produce some wonderful varietals too. So I love that. Your book is coming out then at the end of September.
Yes.
Where can people find it? What's the name of the book? I know that we have it on the show notes, but I'd love for you to share that as well.
Yes, thank you. It's called Liberated. And you can find anything about me on my website. It's jilleschultz.com. And there's a book pre-sale on there. There's also, you had asked me earlier if there was anything that I wanted to share. And if you do have something that you're ashamed of, I have 7 critical steps to releasing shame. Right. So you can get that on my website. There's also another worksheet, uncovering your shame. And the question that I love the most on there is, what's a secret that only you and God know? Like that gives me chills every time I think of it. So there's resources on there like that. So if you want to really dig in and start doing some work around your shame, those are 2 great worksheets to do. But come join me in my Facebook group, and I'd love to support you any way that I can. Like this is my life's mission now. So
amazing.
Come find me. Come see.
I am going to make sure that everybody's got the show notes and everybody's got the information. JillESchultz.com is where you can find Jill. Also, I want you to know that she's got some great resources, and also for anybody who's been affected by sexual trauma and needs support and assistance, you can contact RAIN, which is an organization, the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network, and is the largest anti-sexual violence organization. And it operates to be able to help individuals, and in partnership with local sexual assault providers throughout. So please make sure that you contact their helpline, which is 1-800-656-HOPE. And we will have that information for everyone. Please make sure, you know that secrets are something that can be liberated. You can be liberated from. You're not alone. And Jill is a prime example of what amazing things can blossom from some of the pain, some of the shame, if you allow yourself to come and find the right resources and connect with the people that can help you along the way. Thank you so much for being here, Jill. Will you come back again? Will you?
Oh my gosh, yes, let's do it. Yes,
great.
please.
Amazing.
Just on the website, there's a Get Help link that has several different resources.
Great.
There's also a meditation on there. So if you're healing, and I'm going to be adding a couple more. There's a healing meditation on there too. So if you want to check that out. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This has been absolutely lovely spending time with you. Oh my God.
You are a superstar. Thank you for being a part of the show, and Jill, for sharing, something so sensitive. I do appreciate your candidness today. It has been phenomenal to have you here to share. And don't forget, my friend, go confidently in the direction of your dreams.
Thanks for listening to Casa de Confidence. We thank you for listening, and if you want more, go to CasaDeConfidencePod.com. Check Julie out on her socials as Julie DeLucca-Collins. And you can also check out her website at goconfidentlycoaching.com. Have a great week, and don't forget, go confidently in the direction of your dreams.
Hi, everybody. I know that sometimes we get very lonely in this entrepreneur journey, and I want to invite you to join us into our limited time only Purposeful You Mastermind. For many of us entrepreneurs, we believe that we can do it all, but the reality is that doing it alone only creates a lot of overwhelm. So join us at the Purposeful You Mastermind. You can find out more information by going to bit.ly/Julie's Mastermind. This is going to be the place where you are able to then unlock your full potential and achieve long-term success for your business. Push you behind your current limits, expand your connections, discover new ideas, and implement them with confidence. You're going to get the support in all aspects and transforming you to the six-figure business you've been looking for. Pause and get off the hamster wheel if you've been spinning around. This is a time where you can get that support from like-minded entrepreneurs that are here to join you in your journey. Together, we can challenge the assumptions and land the speaking engagements and opportunities we want to grow our business and make an impact in the lives of people. See you then. Remember, you can find the mastermind at bit.ly, Julie's Mastermind.